Today I want to show you how to put together the K-cup holder, the 2-cup version from Simply Crafty SVGs. Now this is what it'll look like finished, so it'll fit 2 K-cups perfectly. It's a nice little gift for Christmas or any occasion really. So first, what I like to do with my panels, these are the panels that you need for one. And sorry about the movement of the camera, by the way. That it will stop. I'm using a color box chalk ink, and I'll put that in the notes below, just to ink the edges, and it just gives it a little framed look. So you can just see it is my preferred chalk ink. I do use others, but this is my preference. It's easy to get into the corners and stuff like that. So once we're finished chalking, we'll add, or inking I should say, we'll add the panels to the actual box pieces. I'm going to do that first. It's easier to put panels on a flat object than after making it. So you can see how you can get in with this particular chalk ink. That's why I like it. So right here, we're just going to add it, center it. You'll see there will be a little edge when you put the panel on. One thing with this particular pattern, you can make it a 4-cup by taking 2 boxes and putting them back to back. And I'll show you the pieces that you can do that with. We have panels just for that. If you would omit those short panels and put the long ones on. But those are the 2 long ones right there. You would not use those 2 small pieces, and you'd put them together and then put the long panels on last. But we're just going to make it single. So I'm just showing you how to gently fold the box on these score lines. And I did use a Cricut scoring wheel, Cricut Maker scoring wheel to do this. It doesn't score as deeply as when I use my E-clips, but it works well, and that's what it'll look like. I faced it this way, so it's the front you want to put the panel on. You could duplicate it and put it on the back if you'd like. That's up to you. And the same thing with that big panel. So you just center it, and then we'll center the same on the sides. And again, if you wanted to duplicate that panel and the larger one that we put on that other piece, you could put that on the back, but it's up to you how you want to do it. If you were cutting, I guess it just depends on what you're doing. And the reason I chose that side, it could be either side to make it the front, is because of the fold in the front, that big fold on the bottom there under the panel. It looks better rather than having a crease there, or like a seam. So we just want to kind of fold it over right there, add glue to this tab. It's easy to do because it's flat. Then you should be able to fold it. I just had adjusting here. Fold it and just match up that edge with the tab fold and make sure it's centered as well. Just making sure it's nice and secure before we go on. And then we'll do these sides. So you do want to add glue to both of them at once. Make sure they're good, not too wet, but good and wet to adhere before you fold it over. Just keep the tab outwards. So kind of pull it down, and then you can reach into the hole and apply pressure, just aligning that edge with the tab fold. Making sure you're pushing it all, going from top to bottom will be best. I started in the middle, but you want to make sure that you push it down enough so it's aligned properly. And then kind of situating it to do the other side, matching up. So I don't apply pressure until, so I do it, put enough glue so I can have the time to do the first one and then the second one. Then we glue the tab to the bottom. And it's my opinion, it's just a little gift box, so it's okay to see that tab on the bottom. Sometimes I have boxes where you don't see the tabs. But most people, even if they look, it looks okay. But you could always cover it with, cut a piece out, but I don't think it's necessary. Else I would have included it with the file. We have to say paper for next project somewhere. And then I just use a wooden chopstick, takeout chopstick, to apply any additional pressure if you don't want to put your fingers in there. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So what's good with this and the other K-cup holders we have, you can just put them back to back and make them like double the size. So just showing you again how I line it up. I'm kind of slow just because I want to make sure it's as good as possible, but when I rush is when I make mistakes. But some people are faster than me. So you can see I'm just pushing against the table to apply additional pressure to the tab. So there's ways to do it where that's the handy part of having the holes there. And then I can just glue that last tab on the bottom after you're done. Went a little overkill because I was having a hard time getting those to stay. So once you get this glued on, you could actually, theoretically, you don't need to put the back on. I mean, obviously we have it ready to go. But if you want to make a bunch just this way, you could always just put a back panel. That long panel in the front, duplicate it, and that could just be your box. I mean, that's really up to you if you just want to do a teeny box and that's it. Just put maybe a sentiment on the front. So there's ways to change this up. So there it is, and all you need to do is add that back piece. So I did it two ways. I found putting the glue on this back section here, and then there's two ways I did it. I'll tell you which one works better for me, but it works better this way, where you kind of flip it over, have the pattern paper on facing the front, and then match it up the edge to the bottom and then the top, so you can see that it matches up on the sides and the bottom. And then you can go ahead and flip it over and apply pressure with your fingers or with the chopstick or other long utensil, whatever you have that's a blunt utensil that you can reach in. I have a little bit kind of chunky fingers, so it's a little bit difficult for me. That's it. So if you did want a double one, you could put them back to back. So just glue them together. But you wouldn't use those little side panels. Take that out. You just glue them together like that. And then instead of putting the side panels at the beginning, you'd put the long panels that came with the file, that's why it was optional double. So if you want to double, you just want to use that instead. It'll pull them together well. And those holes that cut out for the holes for the K-cups, you could actually use those as tags. I didn't think about that before, but if you're giving it as a gift, you could actually just put a hole in it, add some twine, or put it on the front, put a little message, and call it done. Thank you for watching.